Hi there, I'm Dr. Arjun Khalsa, and today is day 2 of our Get Busy with Your Habit Change email welcome. And the first thing I want to share with you as we're working on changing habits, I love this quote, and I adapted this from actually Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is a huge, I want to say pioneer on changing habits. I know there's so many people out there doing it, but he talks so much about rewiring our brains and that we don't have, if you know Carolyn Dweck's work, she talks about a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And so I have, I'm weirdly lucky. My dad has always taught us that we can always do better. How we were born doesn't necessarily mean how we have to be our entire lives. And we always have the choice to change how we behave in the world, how we show up in the world, our environments, how we think, how we feel. We are our own engineers of our lives, which is the great news, because it doesn't matter what your situation has been, you have the power to shift it and make it different than what it currently is. So this quote I adapted, it says, "Your life responds not to what you want, but who you're being." And I love that, because our being is all of our habits that have been, it's a cumulative effect over our lifetime. And so how we are today is the accumulation of those habits. And then, so if we're looking around, if I look around my office, this office I'm in is a accumulation of what I want, but also who I've been and who I am currently. And so if I change, even just this picture, like my coach today said, "Oh, you changed your office around." I'm like, "Yeah, my sister was here last week and I had her come help me get things more organized and cleaned up and in a way that feels really good to me." And so that was actually a habit, honestly, too, because my habit at the moment was all I could handle was just getting to the office. I got as much cleaned up as I could, and then I wanted to change things around. So I made a concerted effort. I had my sister come down. I paid her. She spent a few nights, so I got a little extra fun with her. That was really great. And we upgraded my office. It's like 2.0 now. So this is like kind of a really small example. But I think it's also a good one, because wherever you are, whatever your environment is, it's because your habits up to this point have gotten you here. So you may like it, you may be super happy with where you are in your life and your environments around you, or you may like want a little tweak, or you're like, this is not the life I imagined for myself at all. Or maybe it's a life you imagine, but you're like, I'm ready to move up to the next level. This is good for now, but I'm ready to evolve. So the great thing about habit change is that at any moment you have the power to change it. You can change your thoughts at this moment, you can change your behavior at this moment, you can decide to start tomorrow, and however that works for you, however it looks, it's all the cool thing about life is your life. This is your adventure that you're choosing, and if you like it, super. And if well, I won't go into that realm, but I was going to say sometimes the universe wants changes for us, so sometimes we don't have a choice in what happens to us, but we have to kind of take what comes at us and then how we're going to be dealing with it. So, for example, if you're kind of used to being worried, and if you'll listen to Joe Dispenza's work, he said even worry is a habit. And as I'm getting more clear with myself and more honest with myself, yeah, worrying has become a habit. And I like this habit change. If you've watched me for a while, I turned 50 this year, and for some reason these past couple of months, I just keep feeling I don't have a lot of time anymore. I don't have time to be worried or angry or afraid, or to not really go for it in the way that feels good for me. And I don't have time anymore for bad relationships. I really am focused. I'm getting super, super focused about how I want to spend my time and my energy and my money too. So there's a million different habits we can change. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of resources with you during this 5-day challenge. And Carolyn Miss, I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly, but I was listening to a podcast with her this morning also, and she was talking about, she called them addictions. And I really like that, because habits are basically addictions. Some good, again, not so great. Are they supporting you? Are they not supporting you? And I feel like whatever these addictions are, getting really clear with it, and worry, fear, anxiety, they're addictions. They're, let's be honest, right? Like whether we know we've chosen it or not, like we've unconsciously chosen it, right? So one of the great things about habit change is that we're getting really clear about what it is that we're not liking about our lives, whatever we want to move forward on. Like there's some things we want to let go, and there's sometimes we want things that we want to include instead of letting go. So either way, the idea is to really enhance our lives, right? When we have habit changes, and a lot of them have become unconscious. So those being worried, I'm going to take that for example. Being worried probably started for me, I don't know, probably could have started when I was a little kid or in high school when I had a paper due, and then I had a test, and then I had a friend who was being mean, or like driving down to Atlanta and Atlanta traffic, whatever it is, and it just starts building, and then it becomes, before we even know it, it's just like we're worried, and then it becomes who we are, and then we create our lives around that worry. So at a given time, and through work and recognition, we're like, okay, I don't want to be worried anymore, so I'm going to stop that. When I notice I'm worrying, I'm going to stop it. So then that becomes a habit, the stopping the worrying. So I'd like to invite you as we move into this 5-day habit challenge, which the 5 days is really just setting a foundation. It really takes 40 days to change a habit. So we're just going to launch you with this. And I love this saying that you are who, the 5 people that are closest to you, you're a reflection, their reflection, and your reflection of whatever's going on in your life. So one of the biggest things, the biggest changes I found in my life is changing who I'm with. I feel like that's a big one, because I want to be around people who reflect goodness in life, who are doing good things, who have integrity, who show up for themselves and others. Those are the people I want to be around. So I make sure in my life that those people I'm with are they're good people, they're honest people, they're hardworking, and they like to have fun. That's really important to me too, and that's a habit I'm really always working on too, is making sure I'm having a lot of fun with all of this. So I want to just say that. So the 5 most important people to you are really a reflection of who you are. So as you're moving into this challenge, I'd love to encourage you to invite others to do it with you. If people in your household or people at work or friends,